Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Switch It Up Show. Coming to you, we're almost at the turn of a new year.
Finally.
Finally, right? Yeah, the celebration, the end of 2020, but of course the continuation of the Switch It Up Show as we bring you not one, but two wonderful games right here on the show. I, of course, am Glenn. I'm going to be your host for this episode, and I'm joined by Mr. Seth Trav.
Hello.
I love it. I'm into it.
Every
Don't
time.
take offense. I pop for it every time. I enjoy it, but not as much as I enjoy these sweet, sweet tunes from Anna Managuchi. Once again, that's Anna Managuchi, ladies and gentlemen. Please be sure to check out the links in the show notes so you can check out all of these wonderful tunes. And of course, the links to our podcast. You're listening to it. Thank you. However, depending on how you're listening to this, you might, who knows? Like, you might really fall in love with these reviews, these, jokes, these voices. I don't know what you're going to be into, but you can subscribe a myriad. Maybe you love the vocabulary I have. It's pretty impressive. A myriad of ways through those links.
You have a rich lexicon for sure.
Absolutely, my man. All the links are on our Anchor right there. You can go through. You can get yourself iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Podcast. You can play us through Alexa if you want to. So you can just go crazy. And of course, if you enjoy what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review on any format. It very much so helps the show out. We can see it. We can see you guys listening out there, and we appreciate it. So, speaking of things that we appreciate, let's talk a little bit about Calico. Calico is on the Nintendo eShop. It is $11.99, and it's eligible for 60 gold coins. I'm saying coins, dropping points. I don't care if it says it in the description. I'm leaving it off. Calico. Yeah, that's me. That's right. You have at least one cat, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Trav.
I do have one cat.
As do I, sir. And this game, of course, is heavy on the cat. It is called Calico, of course, for a cat with more than 3 colors. And this game is cat heavy. So let me go ahead and hit you with the synopsis. Magical girls running cat cafes. Calico is a day-in-the-life community sim where you are given an important and adorable task. Rebuild the town's cat cafe and fill it with cute and cuddly creatures. You will find a small village filled with magical girls and other fantastical friends where you are placed in charge of a rundown cat cafe. Build up your cat cafe by filling it with cute furniture, fun decorations, yummy pastries, and get it bustling with animals again. Calico is meant to make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. The gameplay reflects that with a laid-back, low-stress, creative environment to explore and play in. So this game kind of looks like a comic book come to life. Very much so in it's very kawaii, very cute, over the top, and basically, like the description says, you are given the reins of the cat cafe in the local community, and you have to completely kind of it's just like an empty house essentially. There's no hint at all other than the NPC telling you that it's a cat cafe. You would never know by walking into it. I personally have been to a cat cafe one time. It is an interesting experience. You pay
smell.
What would you say?
Can it smell?
I mean, it's. I don't know. I don't think so. But you pay a flat fee. You walk in and then you can buy treats for the cats, and you can play with them and stuff, and that's pretty much it. Sometimes they serve food, which is weird. I don't know if I really want to be eating food from a cat cafe, but that is a part of this game. In fact, it's one of the very first tasks they give you. You have to because the cat cafe also has a bakery in it, so you have to create the pastries, and as you create the pastries in this, you're actually shrunk down into very, very, I don't know, not grain of salt size, but we'll say corn kernel size, and you're super tiny, and you're navigating this giant kitchen, and you have to throw all the ingredients in the pan in order to cook everything. So it's very much you're doing everything. You're placing all the furniture. You're cooking all the food. You're going out into the woods, apparently, to find these cats and wrangle them back to the cat cafe. You're in charge of the day-to-day operations. You're making friends in the community. You are doing everything. you've ever played like any type of like community simulation game and you're like, I wish there were more cats, Calico is the game for you. Let me tell you right now, this game it's interesting. It's definitely different. It's kind of fun, but at least on the Switch, because this is on a bunch of different platforms, it is rampant with like glitches. It's not necessarily like broken, but you have to kind of like, I guess, break your brain to realize like how things work. This isn't necessarily a glitch, but one of my big pet peeves, pun intended, because it's cats. One of my pet peeves with this is that the confirm button is B. So
really,
yes,
on the Switch,
yes, for everything. So anytime you're placing an object, selecting something, you're pressing B.
Yeah,
it's real annoying because it takes you forever. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, I guess you probably get used to it, but there's so many times where just like, you know, out of necessity, you go to hit A to select it, but not in this one. It's B. So it's kind of, I guess maybe it's a weird thing to complain about, but I find it super annoying, especially as there's so many like dialogue things to go through. Like you're selecting different objects, placing things, like you're constantly confirming. So. I guess maybe I would learn it, but I don't know. It goes against like the intuition I have as somebody who plays games. You always press A or X to confirm. Never circle, never B. But not the case in this one. There's also a lot of weird camera things. Like as soon as you're spinning around and trying to like get views to be able to place objects in different rooms, like parts of the building disappear, the walls go away. Sometimes it feels like you're walking through walls when you're placing certain things, and the camera it's really just like kind of a mess. It's all over the place. The physics are also insane. Like I guess I can't really complain about that too much because some of the cats are like as big, if not like 2 times bigger than you are, and they're just like regular house cats. But like, you know, you pick them up and they just like flop over your back and they're giant. Like it's probably more of a positive thing than a negative because like it's not really fair for me to complain about the physics of cats that are 2 times the size of people. But it's funny, and I think this game, like, you know, its charm is in its quirkiness, because it's just nuts. You can ride the cats around the town, like it's crazy, and it's $12, which is pretty good, because I feel like you can get a lot of time out of this game, especially depending on how far you want to like you get to customize a good deal. If you are somebody who's into customization, not only can you do like, you know, your cat cafe and your food and like, you know, the color of your furniture and everything you place in there and the cats and how they are, like you can also customize all your clothes. So like if you're into all that stuff, like, you know, that Animal Crossing, like, you know, make everything your own vibe, you can definitely do that here. And I feel like the amount of time and enjoyment, if this is up your alley, that you can get out of it is probably like, you know, it probably tips the scales in your favor for Calico. So Calico might just be the perfect game for you, if all those things apply.
Dude, sounds like it's the cat's meow.
Oh, there it is, my man. So $11.99 on the eShop. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 4 out of 5. It's got its problems, but I think it's like it's silly enough and it looks cool enough that it's kind of charming in spite of its you know, issues.
Yeah, I mean it has to be. It's a cat cafe game.
Yeah, man. Can't hate on
that. So, ladies and gentlemen, the game I am reviewing today is called They Bleed Pixels. It is $7.49. It is on sale currently, marked down for $14.99, and you get 37 gold coins when you purchase it digitally. We are taking back the gold, ladies and gentlemen. Taking it back. A friendly, difficult action platformer inspired by weird fiction and gothic horror. As an anonymous student at the La Faciando Academy for Troubled Young Ladies, you must battle through your nightmares to defeat a curse that's slowly transforming your body into a clawed demonic form. They Bleed Pixels balances a perfect mix of fast-paced acrobatic platforming and fierce one-button slash-em-up combat by suppressing your urge to button mash in favor of focusing on stylish and smart kills. You are rewarded with checkpoints you can choose when to place for safety, or you can try your luck by holding onto them for extra bonus points. It features pick your difficulty, hardcore original difficulty, or easier novice mode with remixed levels to match a wider range of skills. Use the environment against your enemies. Kick, stab and drop enemies into saws and spikes for satisfying high-scoring finishers. Striking art style mixes lo-fi pixel art with organic ink and paper textures. Become a monster, slashing master, or performing speedrunner with individual level rankings, online leaderboards, and 150 skill-based badges. Unlock bonus guest levels and illustrations by comic and game artists from around the world. Stab to the beat of an original electronic soundtrack by DJ Finish Him, aka Sean Hatton. Composed with synthesizers, unconventional instruments, and gadgets not meant for musical use. Its lush, gothic, cute motion comics tell the story of a young girl haunted by an eldritch nightmare. It's from the fine people over at Spooky Squid Games Incorporated. Let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this game was gnarly, and it was actually a decent, fun time. The pixel style is very artsy. It definitely lives up to its name. I want to say that They Bleed Pixels bleeds pixels everywhere. You take swipes and stabs at these enemies, and it's like Kill Bill, Crazy 88's level of insane blood all over the place. Sometimes getting those combos, like they say in the description, you will want to button mash, but the game is one of those games where it really favors precision and making clear, concise choices. As long as you don't go crazy and mash like you're going to want to, the game will flow very well and be very cool for you. You get a lot of different upgrades and a lot of different power-ups as you move along. There's a bit of a Metroid aspect to it in that, you know, you gotta go back to some levels, some areas after you've already gotten some things, and maybe you'll unlock some new stuff. Like I said, the story is pretty out there. It's pretty weird. Not really, you know, spoken, really, you know, again, artistic comic booky style, which is cool. And like they said, these fatality type things that you do, these cool finishers, they are nuts. They are very, very nuts. But if you are a big fan of doing speedrunning and platformers that aren't necessarily going to make you want to throw the controller, but you will die over and over again, this game is going to be a lot of fun for you. It was a little on the short side, I would say, because I managed to beat it, I want to say, in like 7 or 8 hours. But it was a good time, relatively so. Like I said, there is a bit of a difficulty curve because I want to just immediately start mashing buttons. And unfortunately, that's not how this works. Or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it. The easier mode, I did try it out just to see how much easier it was. And it is significantly easier. And it does feel a lot more like what I would want to call a standard sort of quick playthrough platformer. And you can just kind of enjoy the weird story and doing these insane combo moves, which it does take some skill to kind of master them because it does rely a lot on this sort of one button, just different directional kind of combo happenstance stuff, which is cool. You know, it's neat. The aspect of it that's probably the best, I want to say, is that you can just drop down a save point wherever you are, as long as you've gotten a big enough combo. And that's really, really helpful because there are, again, times in this where you're going to have to really pull out those platform shoes. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. It's that new age Mario style. Again, classic graphics and great music combined with a, you know, not necessarily too steep learning curve, makes They Bleed Pixels a great platformer and a perfect way to stab at the end of 2020. So I am going to give They Bleed Pixels a 4 out of 5.
That's a pretty good score, my man. 4 out of 5? Quality.
It is. It's a pretty quality platformer, and it's simple enough and hard enough that it will keep you playing for hours on end.
Awesome, my man. Well, I think we dipped and dabbled in a little bit of everything. Whether you're into, like a platformer or you want to play with cats, we try.
Whether it's your cat fancy.
Oh man, that's not still around, right?
Cat fancy? I think it's around, right?
If you got issues with cat, like I can't even believe I know what that is. Like that is like out of like decades and decades ago. If you have an issue with Cat Fancy, if you work for Cat Fancy, please let us know over on Twitter at Switch It Up Show. We want to know like your whole life story. We might have you on the show, like just as a guest, because we bring you a little bit of everything here on the Switch It Up Show. Because if things ever get boring, you can always switch it up.